Hey everyone,
Hi.
it's Diaperperv and Donny
That's
and
me.
my friend Ashley over here.
Hi.
And we're going to talk about shyness and how to combat that so we can be more outgoing at events, actually go to events and meet new people.
I would be shy because I didn't want to say anything dumb and say something that would, I don't know, make me feel really stupid. So like I always just kept quiet, and people took that as, hey, I was being shy and I didn't want to engage.
I think that's why a lot of people feel shy, or they feel like they don't want to engage because they're scared of being judged, they're scared of rejection, they're scared of saying something dumb and then people judging them. So how do we so where does that fear come from?
I say our parents.
I say from probably being judged before, when you're, maybe from experiences when you were younger, and when you said something and then someone made fun of you, maybe you came out to a partner or came out to a friend about liking diapers and then they laughed at you or shamed you for it and it didn't go well. And I feel like the more negative life experiences you have, then it's easier to like fall into that hole of, oh, I'm shy.
For people who are shy, I feel like it's part of like they identify it as part of their persona.
It's a self-identifier, right?
I don't think that's healthy though to identify as that.
No, neither
Because
do
we all
I.
have the ability not to be shy. We just choose to be shy.
And then when you put that word on yourself, I feel like you're going to do the actions that a shy person would instead of stepping out of your comfort zone or trying to overcome it.
It almost becomes like a way to avoid things.
Oh,
or like hide
yeah.
from, like escape.
Yeah.
Instead of just taking responsibility and like, for how you feel.
Right.
If it's not truly a mental thing that they have going on.
And also it prevents you from maybe experiencing things or making friends or making deep connections with other people. Figure out if your shyness has to do with being ABDL, or are you shy in other parts of your life too? And what if you are shy in other parts of your life and you've always are too scared to like go up to people or engage in conversation? I know you definitely have some good tips on overcoming that.
I think it's also understanding if you're shy, you're also you're holding yourself back from really truly being able to express who you are. And so you're kind of cutting yourself off from your own energy flow.
Okay.
So we're not designed to be small. We're designed to expand, like the universe expands. So energetically you want to expand.
Right.
So if you want to experience more things and have more joy, you kind of have to overcome this mindset that you're making yourself small, or that you're small.
Okay.
Or closing yourself off because of this title you give yourself.
Right. That's a really good one. How do you overcome when you have so much anxiety and it's almost crippling?
I think a big part of it is just recognizing that this term that you gave yourself is not true. First is okay, I accept that maybe I am not comfortable, but that's all it is. It's just I'm not comfortable and these things are new. So if we can just break it down to smaller things, it's not that big of a deal. Everybody feels awkward when they're going into a new situation or there's some kind of change. So if you can just be I can roll with this, and then just be okay with yourself first. You know what? It's okay that I'm feeling awkward, but I need to just if I want to enjoy myself, you have to choose that. So you can first just make that choice. Then it's how can we now move on? So my recommendation is start by looking at yourself in the mirror and being able to see yourself in your eyes without judging yourself. I think a lot of people who are shy, it's because they're afraid of being judged, but they're the worst judges for themselves.
Right.
So if you can comfortably look at yourself in the mirror and greet yourself or say something nice without feeling stupid, at first it's going to feel stupid, But if you start to like really feel comfortable with that, you can be comfortable with yourself, then it doesn't really matter as much as what people think.
What else should they do in the mirror when they're looking at themselves?
Not see their flaws.
Okay.
Normally when we look at ourselves in the mirror, it's because we're looking at our flaws. Maybe
That's
say
true. That's true.
instead maybe saying something like, hey, you know, you can say, it's easier for us to say you or we versus I. So if you're looking in the mirror, maybe you can like, hey, you're doing, you know, you look good. Or like just a very general compliment.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, you know, it's hard to refute that, you know, like you're doing okay today. And start kind of like becoming your best cheerleader first. That kind of gives you natural self-confidence. So how can you have more confidence? First, accept yourself more. And be your best cheerleader. Like being able to celebrate yourself more.
Yes. And in addition to that, for specific advice for a diaper fetishist, maybe say to yourself, I love diapers. So you should do that every day.
Or as I would say, anytime you go to the bathroom and you see yourself in the mirror, just smile. Smile at yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Smiling is a very good nonverbal taking away of shyness.
It's almost as if even the mirror work, it has to be like steps. So first you're going to look at yourself overall, but then like once you can meet yourself in your eyes, that's powerful.
Well, how do you, I guess, push back the feelings that everyone is judging you?
Understand that everybody has their own lives and you're not the center of it.
Yeah. They're probably worried about themselves and where they need to be. They're looking at their phones.
Plus also check your breathing.
Oh,
most people in social situations that are uncomfortable, your breathing speeds up. Or you forget to exhale, you hold your breath.
So your breaths are like
so you pass out.
Infrequent
so
and shallow.
Your brain goes into like fight or flight mode. And then you really want to like either retreat or hide. Something like that. Which feeds into being shy.
Oh.
But if you can self-regulate yourself so that you're okay, then the situation's not as scary.
Okay, so be conscious of your breathing. Then
and
what?
your posture. I think with people, posture, like
that's huge.
That says a lot. Like if you can walk into, you know, if you feel like even now, if you just straighten up and you feel like, yeah, you know, it's almost like you're claiming your space, but if you're shrinking down,
people see that.
Yeah, and then you become actually less approachable. So it feeds into like you're being judged, but it's just
your arms are crossed too.
Right.
Like,
so when you're not approachable.
Yeah, so if you're like this, standing,
and closed off, then people are not gonna want to talk to you.
Well, I wouldn't want to talk to you.
No.
Somebody was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Like,
or if you walk into a room like this or like that, versus like confidently.
Right. That's a magnetism kind of thing. Like people are drawn to people who are a little bit more confident. You don't have to be like super confident.
Cocky, that's not where you want to go.
As long as you're okay, then like they want to talk to you.
So what if you want to talk to somebody? How would you go and say hi? You're super scared. You have anxiety, you see someone you might know or that you follow online at an event, how would you overcome this fear?
You mean besides the use of alcohol?
Yes.
Giving compliments, like, I like your shirt. Like, oh great, you can start a conversation like that. Or like, those are really cute shoes. Where'd you get those?
Everyone likes to be complimented.
Yeah, that's what I say. Always lean in with a compliment.
What if they have nothing on them
naked.
That's
like, I like your diaper.
Cute. No, what if it's like
they lie about it.
I like your smile. Like, how about I like your smile?
Yeah.
Or I like your face. You know, it's
I like your face.
I like your face.
You can even say like, oh my gosh, like, or like I've even brought up times where like I'm like, oh I'm sorry, you look like one of my friends. You look so familiar. Like I thought you were them, you know. And then that's how I could bring in conversation too. But I don't know. That's kind of like a far reach. I think complimenting and a simple smile, like you're saying earlier,
or even just like if you're going to baby steps. I would say in life, not even at the convention yet. Like that's like the the Olympics. Like that's where you lead up to.
Right.
But like in daily life, start when you go to the store and just start smiling or saying hi to people.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be long engagements, but it's just that practice of like hi. You know, and you're kind of opening yourself up.
Even saying thank you. You know, like, oh, thank you so much, or, you know, whatever. Yeah, because some people, they will go in conversation with you too. So even if you're uncomfortable, you just say, hey, how you doing? Like, oh, hey, good. It's a good Monday for you, huh? And you're like, oh, God, now you got caught up in a 10-minute conversation.
But that's good.
It is. It's healthy.
Because,
and that's you need to learn that.
You're practicing how to conversate. So maybe set daily goals for yourself. Like every time you're going to leave the house, I'm going to say hi to 5 people.
Right.
To 5 strangers.
Yes. Someone you didn't know.
And you know, one thing that like also helps is like just talking to people in general that you normally won't talk to, like even from on your phone list. Like if you're like, okay, I'm gonna call 3 people a day just to say hi and like check in, and like no other reason, just to practice just talking to people and making conversation.
Yeah.
And these are people you know, so it should be a little bit more comfortable.
Unless you owe them money.
Yeah, don't call them.
Right. Where's the $20?
Yeah, I think that you just get into that practice of just conversing. And the other thing on the other side of that, of being shy, is develop your listening skills. Because if you're not a good listener, because you're so, you say hi, you finally make that connection, but then you're all up in your head like, oh my God, well, how am I looking, blah, 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 and you're missing it. You really are missing that moment where you could have had a breakthrough for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And further the conversation too.
Oh, I will say one thing too. Another good thing is, maybe not Capcon wise, but day-to-day life, if you have a pet, if you have a dog, go take your dog for a walk. Go to the dog park. Like, you're going to meet tons of people there because of, oh, actually, I love your dog, or like, whatever. And then, like, brings in conversation. That's kind of how I would think. Another easy way.
Yeah, and you can walk your cats, too.
You can.
You can.
If they allow it.
I think these are good things, even not for people who are just shy, but just people who are introverted. Like, I'm more introverted. I'm not on camera. But, just like naturally introverted, but it's good to expand yourself so socially you can be a little bit more outgoing, but you don't necessarily have to change your persona. You can still be that introvert who's okay with meeting new people.
Yeah.
But you're a strong person because you can push past it to be like, okay, let's get uncomfortable for a little bit.
It's personal.
All right.
Yeah. I think that we all have that responsibility to ourselves to like gently push ourselves to just discover new things about ourselves.
Right, and new experiences too.
And meeting new people.
Because you never know. The person you meet could be like your best friend, or it could be a, possible partner, or I don't know.
Or you could have just maybe you just made somebody's day that they just needed that, they needed their reassurance too. So you just
they could have lost their job, or they could have whatever. It's like,
so just having that human connection.
Yeah, you never know.
I think that's a lot of times the thing.
And you're adding value too if you're giving someone a compliment or saying have a nice day to a stranger.
It makes them feel good.
So that was a lot of tips on just overcoming shyness in general and some goals to set. So how does this all relate to going to an ABDL event of any size?
I mean, Ashley probably wouldn't be able to know like some of these events, like how they're experienced, but I think if they're in any way, any social environment is kind of like this, where you have a bunch of new people, and there's a lot of cliquish people because you develop these friendships and relationships over the years, and then you want to see these people because you haven't seen for about a year. So you're like, oh, I get to see Larry again, or whatever, and we get to catch up. But like we're saying, I think it's important, like we were saying before, of like, let's being part of this community and knowing how scary it was to even to find Larry to be your friend that you meet every year. Like, you have to understand the new people that come in every year have that same experiences. So it's like, it behooves us to like really step out of our comfort zone a little bit more, or like take time away from Larry or your best friend or whatever to say, hey, I'm gonna go talk to this person. Or like, you see a different crowd of people. Yeah, they may not necessarily engage in conversation with you the way that you may want it, but sometimes it works out. Sometimes it could be cool people, but I think a majority at the ABDL community too, they're gonna.
So everybody was new at one point.
Yes.
Everybody was new at one point.
That's a good way of saying it.
So everyone who's watching this, who has been to events, you should go up to a new person at the next event and welcome them and introduce yourself.
I think it's important to make sure this community is, properly represented, and like we have that love and respect for each other that I feel that we should have. not all of us really practice that, but I think that it's something that we aspire to.
So let's talk about Capcon or convention-specific tips. And I feel like that's a lot easier than just a general event, because there's so many types of general events, from munches to dungeon events to bar meetups. But Capcon and conventions are its own thing. And I feel like there's way more things that are geared towards people meeting other people. It's just your choice to take that step to do it. Like at Capcon, I know there is a first timers orientation class. So if you go there and you know, hey, I'm in a room full of people that's their first time, I think that's perfect to actually talk to someone. But you still have to make the step to talk to the person beside you.
Right.
And say something. Say, hey, how's it going? I love what you're wearing. Where did you get it?
Or is anybody sitting here?
Yeah, it could be something as non-committal as that. At Capcon, there's also a friendship bench.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think it's what it's called, but it's for people who might be going there alone, which a lot of people go to alone.
Yep.
Not just Capcon, all events. I go to them essentially alone. There's a bench where you can sit and wait for, I guess, someone else who's looking for a buddy to hang with. And apparently it worked, because they're bringing it back this year.
Oh, that's cool. I don't think I saw it last year, but that's an awesome thing that they have.
We need that in life.
Right.
Yeah. At the Walmart.
It's called the internet, yeah. Yeah, Walmart.
Can you imagine this bench where you just sit and be like, I just want a friend to walk around Walmart with? But I remember my first Capcon, I went alone and I really didn't know many people at all. Maybe a teeny handful. So I made a video about it. Click it and watch it if you want to know how I dealt with my anxiety and nervousness.
Besides that, I would say just even going to the classes and engaging in that, asking questions to some of the people that are putting on these classes. Because they'll be able to give you a lot more information of who to go talk to and who to, I don't know.
And also at the classes, I find that everyone is there to learn a specific subject. So it's okay to talk to the people sitting all around you. They're sitting there, so they can't get away. They have to talk to you. Yeah. That's how I see it. But most people, they want to engage with someone, and you just have to take the first step sometimes, because they may not have the courage to do so. There's also a lot of group activity events at CAP as well, that are where you kind of partner up and do something with other people. And also the round tables are a great place, because you're all there for one specific topic, and it's a round table, so you're adding to the conversation. A lot of times it looks like people are being cliquey, but they're really not, because they might be meeting for the first time themselves.
Do you guys have forums for these types of do you guys have
Oh,
forums?
there's tons.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So how about on the forum, just be hey, roll call who's going, and then maybe just talking to that person offline before you go.
Yes.
That life is a big thing.
So you kind of set it up
And a lot of people do that. I don't think enough people do that, but some people do.
I think also I'm just speaking in general, because obviously I've not gone to one of these, but just feeling this is where you should be. Just feeling yeah, these are my people.
Yeah.
And you deserve a place there too. Among everybody else who's there interested in this lifestyle, or they're, wanting to learn. You want a seat at the table.
Right. And everyone's an equal there. Everyone got there to whatever event it is. So everyone really is an equal.
Yeah, and they're not gonna get freaked out by you. If you're at Capcon, you're into diapers too. So
no judgment.
Yeah, that's where I'm okay. It's kind of when people are oh, when you're nervous, just imagine everyone in their underwear or something like that. And I'm well, you can imagine everyone in their diapers. Keep an open mind and try not to, like I said, have expectations oh, I'm gonna, do this and this, because things may happen. Just take it by the seat of your pants.
Okay, I want to bring up this one example of someone that was a client, and I, told them about Capcon, and I got them interested, and they actually went. I felt like they had the self-imposed, aloneness that they self-impose. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where they, because afterwards, after the event, they were like, I just felt everyone was really unfriendly during breakfast. There's a breakfast buffet, right? And it's open seating, so there's chairs everywhere. So what I would do during breakfast is, even though I might see some people I know, but I know I'm going to hang out with them later, I will go up to a new table full of people I don't know and be like, hey, I'm so-and-so, is anyone sitting here? And they're always like, yeah, go for it. And that's how a lot of people like made their tables. But I would see him, he would get his plate of food and he would leave the group seating area and go to the bar area and sit at the back of the bar by himself.
Yeah, they probably think he was working there or something, probably.
And, well, no, he was in little gear, but...
He just made himself inaccessible.
Yes,
And then
inaccessible.
So I think, like, in the human brain,
Yeah.
you see things based on your own viewpoint, and that's the experience you create. So if
Yeah.
he's creating that, like, victim mindset, then everything is not going to go well.
Yeah, yeah. And I would see him, like, during the Halloween events, and he didn't, I guess, try to talk to anybody. I mean, because of the shyness.
Yeah. That's a shame. I feel bad for that guy that he didn't let himself experience that.
Right, and I would try to include him, but I would be like, hey, come over here. Like, we're all just hanging out here. They wouldn't say much or really engage or, like, share something about themselves.
Some people are socially inept, and it helps to get in those situations for them to get out of that if they have the right people around them. But it seems like you're saying kind of self-sabotaging yourself, you know?
Yeah,
where you're like, I'm messing this up from the get-go.
Yes.
You know, like,
And
I've done that before, and it's,
And
you
then
know.
blame everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does feel like self-sabotage because with an event, it is what you make of it. Like, hardly anyone is going to, like, see you way over there in the corner and be like, hey, come over here, because we don't know your situation. We don't know if you're having a panic attack. Sometimes people would assume that you chose to stand over there on your own and you don't want to be part of the group instead of...
Because you need your alone time versus, like,
Yeah.
you know how to approach people.
Right, yeah.
If that's the case, go to your room. Because everyone talks to you. Well, most everyone will talk to you at Capcon.
Yes.
Like, there are people that they don't have any filter. They will just keep talking, and they'll talk to everybody. So, yeah, there's both ends of that spectrum, too. So, if someone starts talking to you, then start kind of hanging out with them and see what kind of things happen, you know? And there's always fun stuff to do at Capcon. It's always so busy. You probably don't have to be off time to get everything done anyways.
Another thing that I've heard from shy and anxious people is that they're worried about that they are a bother to somebody else.
There's differences of, like, saying, hey, will you please change me, compared to, like, hey, what's up? I see you on the internet. I like your videos.
I see you on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the best opening. Hey, I've seen you on the internet.
Yeah, you can say that to anybody, and
Yeah.
like, I guarantee they'll be like, oh, you really? And even if you don't know them.
A lot of people like talking about themselves, so ask questions about themselves as an opener.
Yeah, like, oh, those are really cute shoes. Where'd you get those? Because I've seen some littles that have, like, the Lego, I think they're Nike, or is that... I can't remember who in collaboration with Lego, but they're cool Lego shoes. And, like, I see something, I'm like, oh my gosh, those are the coolest freaking shoes ever. Or they have, like, a really cute stuffed animal. Like, someone had a really fat giraffe one year, and I was like, oh, it's the cutest stuffed animal ever.
Would you suggest, like, if a new person was going, they want to meet people, but they don't have an opening, to maybe bring something that could attract people, like a giraffe, like a giant giraffe.
Yes,
Like that.
yes, or like stickers, like super cute stickers would be great. And you could be like, hey, would you like a sticker to put on your badge?
I think, though, if I'm super shy, it would be hard for me to just go up to people like that and just offer them that. Like, that takes a little bit more of an outgoing...
It does.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah,
It's scary.
so if you're carrying a giant giraffe, like, people are going to come and they're going to talk about your giraffe.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
It's a little bit more of an icebreaker, where it's a little bit more
Yes.
passive and
Yeah.
safer.
I like that a lot. So have an interesting item on you.
Yeah, or like a funky hat or something.
Yeah. Another good advice that I got from a friend is faking it till you make it. And emulating people that you enjoy watching being social and just pretending that you're them. I feel like I've done that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess faking to make it kind of is a vague way of saying, like, just pretend you have that confidence, and you will have that confidence, because that's what confidence is. It's pretty much make-believe. You just gotta, like, I'm the shit, I know it, and so, but you can't be cocky on that line you're talking about.
Or you can take it like, you look at, like, some of these celebrities or performers, right? And then they have their alter ego.
Yeah.
So that when they're in this role, maybe if you have, like, your own, like, it doesn't have to be a public alter ego, but, like, when I'm in this role, I'm this persona, and create the persona and, like, how you want that persona to be portrayed.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So it's safer.
Yeah, it is.
And then it's less personal in the sense that you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Because your persona is the person who's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And that could be like your little persona or something, like baby's persona, where he's all outgoing baby.
Yeah. So let's go around and share a time that we've been really, really shy, anxious, or scared, and we've overcome it. I remember a few years ago, I was at a non-ABDL event. Okay, this is something else I engage in, and I had a crush on the owner of this event. And I saw him after the event, after, like, the activity had finished, and he's like my biggest crush in this little world. And I wanted to talk to him, and I started panicking, and I'm pretty sure I, like, hyperventilated a little bit, but in my mind I was like, I'm never gonna have a chance. I may not ever have a chance to talk to him again. And this is his event, so I'm just gonna talk to him about his event, and that's it. But I was, like, literally, like, high, like, I think from hyperventilating.
You didn't pass out?
No, I didn't, but I just launched into it. Like, hey, Jeff, that was a great event. And then I started talking about some specifics, and he started talking with me. And that was really crazy, okay? And I think he might have checked me out, and I was, like, literally on cloud 9 the entire rest of the day, because I didn't expect that, and I didn't expect to engage with him.
Well, that's awesome that you were able to feel that sort of excitement and like, oh gosh, from pushing past those scary feelings.
I feel like I looked like how you just did right there, and I couldn't control that, so I don't know how he took it. But at that
never talk to him again.
But I was like, I only have, like, this shot. I don't live in this city. I may not ever see him again.
So I would say that in another industry, I created an entire persona. And so I went out as this persona who, in my real life, I just want to stay in my room.
But you were so outgoing. You were like the life of the party.
So my persona went to the Playboy Mansion. My persona did all these things. Inside, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like,
scary.
Look at all these hot girls. Like, you know what I mean? But my persona had this, like, I'm it, and I'm here.
And that's how I met you, and I thought that was you. And I thought that was you. Like, wow, you're so confident.
No, I'm super awkward when I'm in public.
Okay, that's funny. Okay, but no one could tell. You fooled, like, literally thousands of people, and you were super popular, so...
It's like, I thought of my persona as, like, okay, this is my brand.
What?
But it's not me.
Yeah.
So the me is, like, scared to death. The me was super critical and judgmental of all of the things that I did.
Yeah.
But, like, this persona could, like, my persona got dressed up. My persona became, like, and then I, like, ran with it.
Right.
Like, how much more can I make this persona bigger?
Yeah.
But in my real life, I'm like a housewife.
That's funny.
That is funny. I guess, am I like that as Diaperperv? I don't think I am.
I see you the same throughout, but I don't know. I think because you're so excited about, like...
I think that's your natural passion.
Yeah, I think it is.
That is scariness.
You don't have to overcome something, but I had to overcome a lot of stuff.
Wow.
That time was that really helped my growth.
I had no idea. So you made a conscious decision to be this persona.
Yeah. Because the normal me, I was thinking I was boring.
Yeah.
I was thinking I didn't fit in because I saw all the cliques. You know, I was new in the industry.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know shit about like how it all worked. And so I was like, okay, but I'm going to make up this person who's going to go on the boards and the forum, and I'm just going to act opposite of how I am.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
And then that helped the me that is not that person grow.
And everybody knew you too. And you know what helped? I think having a great name helped, honestly.
Yeah, and then building off of that.
Yes, yeah.
So like choosing a name that is just so like people like to say it.
Yes. It should roll off the tongue. It should be memorable too.
Like, you know, if you went out and you're just like, say you just want to name yourself like Gorgeous. And then people were like, hey Gorgeous. They like to say it. It makes them smile.
Yeah.
I know. Like, they call me Delicious. Oh, yes. Okay, sure they do.
But you, like, when you come out, like, that is your, you know.
But with a name like that, you gotta be out already.
So you can be extra as that persona.
Be extra.
Cool. Be extra as a persona. But, like, then you can let go of all of your own, like, you know, self-judgment.
Yeah. I mean, my experience was driving 3 hours to a different city, and then I didn't even get out of the car because I was too afraid to even get out of the car to go in the Munch.
Why were you scared?
Judgments and rejection and things like that. So I drove right back to San Antonio. I didn't even go. And that took me, you know, a little bit of time, and, you know, eventually I was able to work to get to Munches. You know, I was able to get to these things.
Okay.
And
but
so,
how did you do that?
By just, like we were talking about, just kind of like, I need to have these experiences, and if I don't take advantage of these experiences, then it's kind of a waste of
like
myself.
Challenging yourself. Like,
and self-sabotaging too, really. Like we were talking about your friend. It's like, yeah, I didn't even give them the opportunity to even meet who I am. You know, and that was probably not even fair. It wasn't fair to me, and it wasn't really fair to them that I didn't give them that opportunity to meet me either.
That's a good way of looking at it. So what was it like going into your first event?
It was probably really scary. I don't remember it exactly, but I do remember that, just fear of, like, people that think I'm so, like, I don't know. You do meet, everyone's weird, though. That's the thing, is, like, I'm goofy. I'm weird. So it's like, I think once you start conversing with people, they will see that, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, you're goofy too. And, like, it's kind of, I don't know. It's easier to break the ice sometimes when you all realize that everyone around you is weird too, so you can fit in.
So at your first Munch, right? The first one you went to, did people greet you?
Yeah, well, when I first went, no one was outside waiting for me, so I stayed in my car and left.
Okay, yeah. So, but the first one you went
everyone was pretty cool. It was like, you know, Madeline's Cafe or something like that, or Mimi's Cafe or something like that.
Right. So you went in and you saw the
sat
group,
down,
right?
got my food, and waited around. Like, is this the church group? I think that's what I said. And everyone laughed, and it was a nice little icebreaker. And then like yeah, I was on FetLife, and then, you know, that's kind of how it went. And then we like, oh, I'm so and so, and then that's like, I'm running this group, you know. And then that's kind of how it.
And then they talk to you.
Yeah, and then I was able to put my 2 cents in.
I do have some more advice for events. Contact the organizer of the event and tell them that you would like to help out.
Oh yeah, be volunteer.
Yeah, or ask if there's anything I can bring. And then you already have that established thing with the organizer.
True.
And for bigger events like conventions, there's always volunteer opportunities, and then you get your badge at a lower price. So volunteer, and that way you're already set with a group of people where you're doing like a certain job. So then there'll be people that you know.
What are you doing? What are you doing, little dog? Really? No, that's my drink. You can't have that.
Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah, Ashley.
Listening to us trying to work through stuff and discover things about ourselves, and hopefully we gave you some tips along the way.
Yeah. Well, enjoy Capcon.
Yes.
And take lots of pictures. And see you next time.
Well, you can't take pictures. It's
Damn it.
only in your hotel
Oh,
room.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
bye.
Bye.